Welcome back to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the podcast. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today, we have a special bonus episode for our inaugural. I'm going to leave it. It's fine. Love is That Wilt week. Okay. Today, we have a special bonus episode for our inaugural Love as Thou Wilt week, which is a celebration of inclusive love in the romantasy space during Pride Month. But first, this is your warning. We are not rated E for everyone. We will discuss adult topics using adult language on today's episode. We are joined today by a very special guest, debut author, podcaster, and everyone's favorite younger sister, Nicole Holleman. Nicole, welcome and tell us all about yourself. Welcome, and tell us all about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, that was the first time anyone's introduced me as debut author, and I'm not going to lie, I think I just had a little bit of an out-of-body experience, so thank you for really popping that cherry. That felt really good. Thank you.
Again, folks,
my name is
adult language.
Yes. I am not rated E, that's for sure. My name is Nicole Holleman. I am the co-host of the Fantasy Fangirls Podcast, where my sister and I dive deep into fantasy books and quite literally go line by line, theory by theory, and thrust by thrust through every single book that we absolutely love. And I just recently, well, I guess not just recently, it started about 2 years ago, but I am now available to talk about it. My book is coming out next year. It is called Oath of the Chosen. It is my debut novel, and it's the first in a trilogy. Woo!
Yay! That is so exciting. I can't wait to talk more about it. But first, in keeping with our normal time-constrained format for our usual episodes, we're going to do a quick 1 minute get to know you. So we're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. And if you're ready.
Here's the deal, Avery. I am so competitive. I am like, this is to the point where I'm like sweating. I'm ready to go. Like this.
One time, someone went through all of the questions so fast I had to just make them up on the fly. It was not great.
Okay. Don't give me goalposts. I'll try to hit them.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. And
don't start yet. My list of questions just disappeared. Hold on.
You guys are fun.
all right.
Oh,
Okay.
that was a terrible sinking feeling in
All
my
right.
gut. Okay.
Everyone, starting line again.
Okay.
Full start. Okay.
All right.
And go.
What's your order at the coffee shop?
Cold brew iced coffee with almond milk.
First car you ever owned?
Honda Accord. It was cherry red.
Favorite and least favorite thing about living in Colorado?
Favorite thing is the mountains. They are just porn for your eyes. It's so great. And then also least favorite thing, I do not like the cold, so I'm a little weenie in the winter.
Likes to kill. If you could be any character from Fourth Wing besides Violet or Xaden, who would you be and why?
Rhiannon. I'm very, very inspired by her leadership style and how she is as a friend, and also just how she carries herself. That is, I strive to be that grounded.
I love her. I love her.
So good.
Fated mates or found family?
Found family.
Standalone or series?
Series. Always series.
Black cat, golden retriever.
Oh, golden retriever. I feel like I can't answer anything else because my husband is a walking golden retriever, so he is the answer there.
Well, we have met him, and he is wonderful. So
Isn't he great?
And possibly the reason we're here today.
yeah, literally,
Oh my
probably
gosh.
the reason we're here today. So
Yeah,
He's
like,
going
tell
to
him that.
freak out. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that
he
means
was literally so kind to us when we first
Well,
met him.
you all gave him. You sent us shirts, right? You sent him shirts.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That I really quick aside. Now I'm the one going off on a nice little side
Welcome.
path. Yeah, when he opened that, first and foremost, it was his first bit of fan mail, and he opened it, and he just like had this like wave of holy shit. I actually make a difference in people's lives. So as a wife, I thank you both so much for giving my husband that reminder that I see every single day. But, you know, it can only mean so much sometimes when it comes from your partner. But to have it come from two complete strangers, that just made him feel like he was on cloud nine. So thank
he
you
deserves
so much.
it. I'm glad
Yep.
we could do that because he really, I really don't know that we would be here without him.
Oh
Truly.
my God, I can't wait
So-
to tell him this. He needed this. He was just at our house fixing a leaky pipe. So he really needed this. Thank you.
Let's get into it. So,
Let's
Oath
do
of the
it.
Chosen is coming out next year. Give us a little
Woo!
summary.
So, Oath of the Chosen is set in a world in which magic can only pass through murder. And as a result, both are very, very illegal in this realm of Avarith. And they created, a long, long time ago, they created this group of people called the Chosen, who are basically elite torturers, because I'm totally fine in the head. They are elite torturers who get the information out of people who do have magic. And they get information about who did they kill? Who's your family? Why do you have magic? What type of magic? How does it work? They get all these little nitty gritties for their masters, the masters of the Chosen's Keep. And then as things go on, you realize that they themselves obviously cannot kill these torturees, if you will. So instead, they have two different options for the torturees. And I'll leave it at that. But we follow a main character named Ari, who is my heart and soul. I love her and her very, very messed up brain. And she is constantly striving for greatness in this. My editor calls it the torture machine, in the torture machine. And when it comes to light that there is going to be a competition, that only 10 chosen are going to be picked to go to the royal palace to become the first ever royal chosen, she hears that and she says, "Ooh, that sounds right up my alley." Small problem, she's got magic, and if anyone else finds out, she's tortured. So she's kind of screwed.
He's in trouble.
She's in big, painful trouble. So we follow her and her experience through going through the competition.
Wow. This
Very
sounds
cool.
very thrilling.
And I
Thank you.
saw that you just announced, and it'll be out before the podcast is out, but the art for
Yes.
the Keep of the Chosen, or the Chosen Keep, what is it?
The Chosen Keeps, yes. So I, a long time ago, as I started writing the first draft of this book, there were too many flippin' people in this book. And I was like, if I was a reader who was experiencing this, I always like to look up fan art, but, you know, there's always the risk of, do I look up fan art and get some really big spoilers? And I was like, you know what would be really fun is to do a series where it's like meet the cast. And so I actually commissioned 11 different artists. I think I actually might have 2 more coming, which is really, really exciting. So 11 to 13 artists who are going to each be doing a different character, who I paired very specifically with their art style and the character. But one of the people I found actually does landscapes. And I was like, wait, this would be so sick for the Chosen's Keep, because it's kind of in like a Cliffs of Moher style setting, where it's like a keep like built into the side of the cliff. And I was like, that would be really cool for people to like set the scene. So her name is Books to Jim By on Instagram, and she did a phenomenal job, and I'm so excited to release it to the public.
That's so exciting. We're writing a book. We're commissioned some art, and just yesterday got our very, very, very first glimpse of our kind of rough sketches from an artist. And then one of our beta readers out of nowhere was like, "Hey, did you know that I'm an artist?" I'm like, "I had no idea." She's like, "I would love to draw a scene from your book." I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
so then she just like whipped up a sketch and sent it to us. And I'm like, to see
like,
your
it is
book
an
come
out
to
of
life
body.
is like,
Yes. It's like
and
an
like
out of body experience. It truly
Yes.
is. Oh my gosh.
And then
I
you're
love
like,
that.
I'm supposed to be good at words. I'm not.
No, never am good. I literally talk for a living, and I'm still like blah 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 blah. Whenever I see art of Oath of the Chosen, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's like, for instance, there's a character who is Ari, the main girl's like direct master, who she reports to very regularly, and I just got the final renderings for her, and it is to a T how I pictured her in my mind, and I'm like, how did you just take take that and just like, how did you do that? I don't understand.
Isn't
It is
that
so far
incredible?
beyond me.
It is
People
like
are so
not a skill I
talented.
have. Yeah.
No, me neither. Very,
And I
very
can't
hard.
wait to
I'm a
see.
good stick drawer.
Yeah, I'm not even that. I can't wait to see how the art as it's coming out and
It
kind of.
is it impressive that you rate like 100 some thousand words, and then someone sends you a picture and you rate back, wow.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. That's so cool that you guys have people reaching out to you. I can't wait to get to that point where it's like people have read the book enough where like I get to like see their interpretations without me being like, hello, my name is Nicole Holleman. I have a book coming out next year. Would you like to do some art for me, please? I pay you. So I'm really excited.
I can't wait for that for you too. Like that's got to be. I imagine that's like it's like right up there with someone saying you made me cry. Like you
Yes.
inspired me to create art. Like
Oh my God.
that's gotta like what a compliment.
We've gotten that with FFG where people have done art of like either Lexi and I podcasting, or they've done art on like speeches that we've done on the show that like get us really hyped up on feminine rage. And it is one of those moments where it's like, oh my God, like I just wrote some words in an outline and it touched you in that way. Like there are a few things in my book that one up that style of compliment, and it is to live in a world in which we get to feel that. I'm like, oh my, thank you, whatever goat I sacrificed so long ago that made me have in this position that I'm in. I'm just so grateful. Oh my gosh,
The goat that you tortured and then
the goat that I tortured. You know, I can't give away all my
definitely
secrets.
There was no torture or sacrifices.
No goats were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Of the Oath of the Chosen.
Or this podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I really feel like that just became the clip.
I love that feeling. Oh my gosh.
So what is it about Ori that made you want to tell her particular story?
It's actually funny because whenever I thought back to, man, what made me create this girl in my head, and I'll go ahead and put this up front. Ari is so much of me. Like, I mean, I don't torture people for a living, at least to my knowledge, and I'm very grateful about that. However, her mannerisms, her inner thoughts, her inner feelings and anxieties are very one-to-one. There's been a lot of things that I wrote down and I was like, oh, that was too close to home. But one of the things that I realized is I actually created the world long before I created the characters for this book. And one of the reasons the character even came to be was I created the world. I knew that magic would only pass through murder. I knew that there would be this Chosen's Keep. And then I asked myself, who is the worst person to be in this situation? Like who would just lose their gourd? Who would not be a happy camper? And Ari came to mind. And I was like, oh, cool. So I can never be in this scenario, which is honestly fine by me. But when I started thinking about with what your question is around what made me want to tell her story, I'll be very frank. I needed Ari for myself. And I am someone who is very, very anxious. I am constantly striving, and this demon in my head can constantly be like, be more. You're not enough. You're not enough yet. And I started just writing her as that particular style of person because I kind of figured that would be a really twisted way of playing on this competition. But then, especially as I'm right now leaning into book 2 and looking ahead to book 3, I'm seeing the way her story arc is going, and it's become very therapeutic for me. As someone who is so mean to herself, to go through the motions of what do I need to hear in these moments, and what gets me out of my head, what doesn't get me out of my head. So I hate to phrase it this way. However, the thing that made me want to write Ari is a true selfish desire to stop being such a dick to myself all the time. And knowing that a lot of us are very similar in that way, I hope other people are touched by that, or they see a little bit of themselves too in Ari, and yet they see the journey that she's going on and they're able to kind of have their hand held along with her
Yeah.
to take them on that too.
There's
Yeah.
so much about self-compassion that you have to see it modeled in other people
Yes.
sometimes to learn what that looks like for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's, I
100%.
think, one of the best parts about getting older is that it becomes a little easier to have self-compassion.
Yes.
So,
100%.
okay.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine writing this at 24. If I was writing this at 24, I'd be like, she's mean to herself and that's the way it's gonna be. And now I'm
She's
like,
mean
oh wait,
to herself,
there's
and that's how she achieves things. And if she
Exactly, and,
wasn't
like, that's
mean, she couldn't achieve.
literally I have therapy after this or a little bit later, and I'm like, yeah, that's 99% of my therapy conversations with my girl. But
Yes.
yeah, it's like I knew that I wasn't the only one who felt this way, and yet a large part of me writing this character has been writing directly to me, and even people like my close knit friend group has all read it, and they've all either had an experience of like, whoa, I feel so seen, or whoa, I maybe don't connect with this line or something, but I feel like I understand you better now that I've read this, and that feels good. That feels good.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. So we have 5 kids. So I feel like we're just gonna say one of the 5 kids. So one of the 5 kids is the so mean to themselves. We as
Yeah.
parents try to teach him to be nice to him.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you just said
themselves.
Yeah.
And like they just strive and strive and strive, and we're like, it is more like you are more than good enough. It is like you are delivering more than enough. And it's so interesting as parents to walk somebody back from that.
Yeah.
And they're a super achiever and they're kicking butt and they're doing great, but like they never take a moment and like, I'm awesome. I don't think they've ever said I'm good enough.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that's our goal as parents, is to be like, you are. So the fact that you're writing it from this perspective is super exciting. They also read a bunch of Romantasy, so they'll probably get a copy of your book.
Yeah. I
Check
think
the trigger warning sign. That's all I'll say.
the
Wow,
idea
that's
of
amazing.
helping someone move from the idea that of I have to accomplish to have worth to I have intrinsic worth,
Mhm.
and accomplishments are things I can celebrate and find joy in. And
Yes.
like being able to get to the point of like what I'm doing is not, yes, hopefully you're doing things that are good for the world and are helpful to other people, but also that are bringing you joy. And if you're
Yeah.
not, then that's, like, and not every kid needs that lesson. Not everyone needs that lesson. Some kids, you need to do things other than bring yourself joy.
Yes.
But
Some need to strive harder.
that
Yeah.
We have a range.
You got like the singular raising the bar range over here. I love it.
We have 5 very, very different children, and all of them have required different things, and that's just it's
Yes.
you never understand how different people are until you're like, well, you are absolutely nothing like the 4 that came before you. How did we make you?
Yep. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Oh my
Exactly.
God. That's how
Cotton
like I
Eye
see that
Joe.
with I see that with Lexi and her 2 kids, and 2 is definitely not 5, but she has to change her parenting styles, and they're only like 3 and 4, so they're very very very, or I guess 4 and 5 now. But the thing that I've seen, and I am not a parent, but even like as I've like talked to, like, this sounds so crazy, but like as I've talked to my characters, it's like I will be talking to them in a different way, where it's like I know, like, for instance, a side character who you get to meet very, very, very well in especially the first half of Oath of the Chosen. I am going to talk to her very differently than I'm going to talk to Ari when she's having a little tantrum fit or stuff like that. But it's also kind of what makes them a little fun and keeps them on your toes. Now I get to close my laptop and leave them, and I don't think you can do that with children the last time I checked. So that does make it a lot easier.
No, that's you take them to the grandparents and close the door.
There you go.
We do take them to the grandparents and close the door.
Thank God for grandparents. Oh man.
So how did this start? So you were a reader, you were fanning, a fangirl, you were podcasting. So like, what was that transition? What prompted you to say, hey, let's go?
I actually, it was just like Fantasy Fangirls. It was a very happy accident. I I was always, even when we started FFG, like up until like the definitely first year, if not the first year and a half, I was like, I am not a writer. I am not a writer. I think actually we had an interview with Sarah A. Parker, and in that interview, I said multiple times, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I like, how do you do what you do? And I never really had that itch to jot down words on paper because I just didn't really feel like I had a story to tell. I've always been more of a talker, more of a performer, having a theater background. And one day I woke up and I must have had the dream of all dreams that just like plopped right down into my head. And I woke up and I opened up my laptop and I just started writing world building. And I wrote, I think, about 9 pages of just straight world building. Now, some of it has stayed. A few things have changed. Some of it's been kicked to the can. But I sat down then with my husband in bed and I was just like, and he's like, hello? Oh my God. Like, what's happening? You're talking about hands and decapitation. I don't understand. And, good morning, honey. And eventually I finally sat on this world for honestly about a year. I like maybe dabbled in it a little here and there, but I was like, maybe someday I'll write a book, or maybe someday I'll write a book. And Lexi and I are very fortunate that we had agents through the podcast who then basically said, okay, you have agents here. Let's go ahead and just move you over to the literary department and let's have you talk with some agents. And I chatted with my agent Ariel for the first time, and she told me about like, hey, whenever you're ready, here's what we do. Here's what we do. And last summer, we finally had a slow summer at FFG for the first time in like 2.5 years. We were so excited. And I decided to write a book in 80 days as a result of that slow summer. I don't slow down, which is something I am working on. And I just started writing. I'd write like a scene a day. And at that very same time, I hired on a developmental editor who is now my book coach. They are my everything. Ronan, shouts to Ronan, love them. And I just like went all in and I just cannonballed. And I shared the first like 5 or 6 chapters with my agent, and she said, this is really good. Like, let's go out on submission, which basically means let's go pitch this to publishers. And I was like, okay, like that sounds good. And we got picked up, and that's like that. This is not a normal story. I'm so freaking blessed. And but it all stemmed from this one dream I cannot remember, and 9 pages of typing as fast as I can. And here we have 157,000 word book to go out into the world next May as a result.
I am just imagining in my head, are you awake? Oh, good morning. What do you think the sound of a partial, like incompleted decapitation makes?
How does a tongue get ripped out? What's the gurgle that you'd hear, you know? Like, what would that sound
Do
like?
you think it wiggled? Like, what does it sound like when it hits the floor? Like,
oh man, I've done so much research on that exact topic. I cannot even tell you, only to have it not entirely matter in the book. But oh man, that makes me so happy that you brought that. But no, my husband was like, no coffee, nothing. He's just like, hello? Like, what's going on? Oh,
wait, am I still asleep? Is this my dream? What a
like
weird dream I'm having.
Oh my
Hold
gosh.
on 1 second.
Love him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is you have already said this is a trilogy where I think almost all writers fall somewhere on like this continuum of discovery writing to hard plotting.
Yes.
Where do you think you fall in that continuum?
Oh, it ranges per book. I'll put it that way. Because before I wrote even like more than the first chapter of book 1, I had what's called the W plan for every single book, which basically means I knew where it was going to start. I knew where like a first big turning point would be. I knew where the middle shit hit the fan. I knew where everyone would feel like they want to just throw themselves off a bridge. And then I knew how I'd fix it and then twist them all to the left. So I knew that pattern for every single book. And then I sat down with book 1 specifically and I planned it out beat by beat, like every single scene. And that's where I just wrote. Now I'm literally looking at my plot board for book 2, and I went through that W and I said, okay, great. Based off of book 1, is everything going to stay? And I think everything but one of the pivot points stayed. I just kind of twisted it in a different way. And then Ronan and I sat down and we scene by scene it. Now I will say, it is so hard to go from finishing a final draft, like copy edits, it is like to a T, to a comma, everything is done in that book, to then a blank page and nothing but this is what happens in this scene. And I'm like, oh God. So I'm figuring that out along the way. But like, for instance, I know for book 3, I know how it's going to end. I know how it begins. There's a few points in the middle I'm actually probably going to change just based off of how things are going. However, on like the pantser plotter scale, I definitely would lean more plotter. But I'm not quite to the point of like, I'll call it Sarah A. Parker plotting, where like I know every single scene that happens throughout the entire trilogy. There's a few scenes still in book 3 where I'm like, you're a question mark. You might get figured out a little later. But like all the world building, how everything ties together, that I got that either on a Word document or in my scrambled egg brain. So
I think plot coverage should be like we should be what's
right?
the portmanteau for plotting and discovery, because this is definitely how we function. Like we have all of the books like scened out.
Yeah.
But they're like very vague scenes, and then she hates a blank page, so I get all the blank pages.
Oh, yes.
And then
You're
I'll
the
start writing things, and then she'll be like, "What in the world did you just do?"
Well, but honestly, some of those are my favorite scenes. Like, there's a scene in book 1, for example. It's a weight training scene, and I knew going into it was going to be a weight training. I thought it was between 3 characters, and it ended up actually becoming just 2 characters having this really intimate, like it's 2 platonic characters having this really platonic, intimate moment. And actually, one of them just asked a question to Ari, and next thing I knew, that question that Reg is his name, that question that Reg asked is just suddenly the through line for the entire book. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I can like give myself a little room to breathe and, like enjoy the process or whatever. But it's like some of those end up being my favorite scenes.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say, did you mostly write chronologically, or like
I
whatever
have
order the
to.
book occurs?
I have to. I commend people who don't. If I don't, I will save all my least favorite scenes for last, and then I will never write them. So I have to write them to get to the end where I know everything's going to be like, oh, this feels so good.
Yeah. I will say, before we decided to write a book, we would write like stories for each other.
Yeah.
And then we decided like, oh, these should be a book. And he's just like happening. Like he's just like, oh, and this happens. I'm like, where are we in time and space in the plot of this book? Because he'll just write whatever, whenever.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, so in the end of this, we originally thought it was going to be a trilogy. I think we're going to try to do it in duology, but at the very end, the very last big confrontation,
Yes.
he already has it like written.
Yep.
Like,
I feel like it's so important to have that, because then you know where everything is going. You know what points you need to land, and you've kind of already landed the plane, which feels a little good.
Yeah.
Feels a little good.
I will say, like, this first book, he wrote all over the place, and then I came back and I was like, okay, this is like 400 words that have some good action here, but like also, like I do a lot more of the character stuff.
Yes,
He's much more plot. I'm much more character and setting. But I did hold off on, mostly I wrote through chronologically with what he had put together. And then there was one scene where I knew like, this is going to be the most emotional, everything hinges on this. And I had to do it last because I had to know exactly where we were ending to get it. But other than that, like I'm like you, I have to write it chronologically, or I will just not write the ones that I don't want
Yes.
to write.
Like I'm not connected to yet. But like I've found that in some ways when I write through the ones that I was least excited to write, I end up feeling more emotionally connected to because I put less pressure on myself because I'm just like, ah, fuck it. Like let's just blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, actually that was semi decent. Let me explore that a little bit more. And that's why like I like the pantser plotter, I'll put myself in like more plotter. However, I'm like the like one tick below plotter where it's like I want to give myself some breathing room to just in case the character's like, I'm not going to do that. No,
Yes.
no. Nice
Yeah.
try, lady with the god hand. I'm not going to do that. And it has made the book better. Surprisingly, which is honestly a good
Yeah.
life lesson for people like us who do like to have that control. And it's like it's hard to release that and let fictional people rule your fingers for a while.
Yes. The way that
Yeah.
the way that I will ruminate over
Yes.
my character just refusing to do the thing that I want them to do.
Yes.
Like, why are you like this? Who made you this way? Oh, me?
Me.
Oops.
Oh, I'm the person to blame. That's right. That's right.
I'm so mad
real.
at you. I guess myself.
I guess myself too, but I get to at least take it out on you. Like I'm not the one who created you. It's a little therapeutic. So true.
So you have posted recently about queer representation,
Yeah.
its importance, and that's one of the things you brought into Oath of the Chosen, kind of based on your own experiences. So you've been really like into the fantasy romance and romantic fantasy space for a number of years now. Can you talk a little bit about that and representation kind of in this romantasy space?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll preface this with I try to read as much as possible, and I only have so many hours in the day. I know that there are some incredible, really beautiful queer stories that I just have not been able to read yet, along with some very beautiful straight stories that I haven't been able to read yet. So I want to preface this where I have not read anything or everything. I've never read anything in my life. I got here by accident. I have not read everything. But one thing that I noticed actually, I'm going to go back in time a little to around like really the rise of Fourth Wing. I'll put it around there. Is something I started noticing with Rebecca Yarros's writing style in the fantasy genre was that she made the very conscious decision to have people be queer, to have people be of all walks of life, and to not explain it. Like I'll use the dichotomy, for instance, of ACOTAR, where there is a character in ACOTAR who is queer, who it is a very big part of their story. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. However, I am saying that having it so just is like
Mhm.
Rhiannon's a great example. Riddick is a great example. They just are. And there's no questions about it. There's no double checking. Wait, so you're gay? Like it's none of that. And it just is the way it is. And I think that there's a place for both. However, one thing that I've been seeing in the last 2 years is that just is really starting to pick up some steam. And I find that so inspiring. And when I think it was Rebecca who was asked about like why did she decide to do it that way with Fourth Wing, and she was like, well, because in this world like I got to make the rules, and I made the very conscious decision that people didn't make a hubbabaloo around who they love or about around what
Mhm.
color their skin is. And that really stuck with me in a way where it was like, wow, in these fantasy worlds, we get to create whatever politics, whatever rules around magic systems. Why can't we make that around love too? And so when I started looking at Oath of the Chosen, first and foremost, Ari was always bisexual. There was never a world in which she started off with a man. There was never a world in which she ended up with anyone else but the MMC I created. And I just had that in my head. And I'll be very frank, there were people in my life who were like, okay, you know what you're getting yourself into, right? Like, you know what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, but this feels too right. And again, maybe it is me writing a little heavily of myself into Ari because I am a bisexual woman. I married a bisexual man. We both had lives before we had each other. And I never once have I questioned like did I end up with the right sex or anything like that? And it's like, no, that's just it was the person I fell in love with. And that's exactly what I wanted for Ari. And what's very interesting is when I posted that video, my DMs were flooded with people saying how seen they felt because they are a bisexual woman in a heterosexual presenting relationship, or they're a bisexual woman in a gay presenting relationship, and they just felt so seen because there is this one foot on either side of the line that a lot of bisexual people have, and I'll throw in like pansexual and like people under that umbrella. And it kind of feels like, well, I'm in the queer community, but if I'm in a straight relationship, people tell me I'm not. And like I've had people tell both me and my husband separately, like, it was just a phase for you. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't think so. You're not in my brain. Like that's not how that works. And I feel like without really consciously deciding it, I gave people who feel like that a way to feel seen. And I'm not saying like I'm the trailblazer, I'm the first. Like there's been so many bisexual characters, incredibly done bisexual characters on the page, and I wanted to make a world kind of like that. Rebecca Yarros, what I was saying earlier around like people just are, and no one explains it twice. In fact, actually, in one of the early, this is a fun behind the scenes, in one of the early versions of the book, I didn't even realize it, but every single character on the page was in some kind of same-sex relationship. And one of my friends was like, is everyone in this world gay on some level? And I was like, oh no, I just accidentally wrote it that way. And I did end up doing some tweaking because I didn't want it to be like that off the bat, and then people be changing, like, and then like she end up with a man and people be like, what's happening? I wanted to make it a lot more all-inclusive up at the front. But I thought that was so funny because it was like, it didn't even cross my mind because I wanted the world to feel that way, where it's just anyone can love who they want, or anyone can find anyone attractive, whoever they want. And I'm really excited that the world of fantasy and romantasy and romance fantasy is leaning in that direction, because it gives more people an opportunity to be seen already in a genre where people feel so seen. That's really cool. Yeah.
Who cares who you love? I just want to know if you're murdering people and doing magic. And I'm going to torture you to find out. Okay?
I was talking to my mom the other day. I was on the phone with her and I was hyphy about something or another. And it was around sexuality. And she was like, Nicole, I hope you know, like your book is going to be banned in some places. And I was like, Ari cuts off people's hands. And that's what I'm getting banned about? Are you serious? I had this big thing. And she ended up laughing. We both ended up laughing about it because we had to laugh or else we'd just rage and burst into flames. But it's true. We both, as she pointed out, that is going to be a thing. And that makes me very sad. And I really hope that the more this is talked about and the more that this is presented on the page, on the screen, like Heated Rivalry is a great example. That thing popped the fuck off that was so big. And like, it's becoming more in our faces. Sounds like a negative, but it's becoming more well encompassing in our media. And I feel like it's becoming easier to talk about as a result, and thus easier to normalize. And thank God, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is very sad that like it probably will get banned some places for the wrong reasons. Like, you know, like I can understand why it's not a middle school, but
yeah, well, that's okay. I'm like, maybe keep your eyes off this scene there, 13-year-old.
But this is for like all the wrong reasons. But like so excited that you're writing it that way. And we just talked to Jacqueline Carey, who was the author of Kushiel's Dart, which was published. It says the 25th anniversary of it, and it is a queer normative world published in 2001, where the main character was touched by the gods to feel pain as pleasure, and is this deep lyrical fantasy that is just freaking fantastic and should go on your list.
What's the name of this book?
Darts. So Penn Cole was the one who like introduced us to it, because it was one that she had talked about was an inspiration for her when she was a kid. Yeah. And I was like, well, let me check this out because I love Penn Cole. And then I was like, I didn't even know like that I was going to love any book that much.
And the core tenets of the book is Love As Thou Wilt. So the Love As Thou Wilt week that we're celebrating at the
Yeah.
end of Pride. And what was very striking to me, we're talking to her, we asked her about it, and she said people use that wrong. It's not a permission, it's a commandment to
Oh.
be good to each other.
Yeah. So in this world, love as thou wilt was the key precept of their deity.
Mm.
Like that was the one commandment that set their nation apart from everything else, was that
Yeah.
their main god, Eloah, had given this commandment, love as thou wilt. And it's, so and that encompasses the whole range of how people experience love and sexuality. And in this world, it's like sexuality and expressions of sexuality because of this commandment are holy, they're sacred.
Mhm.
So anyway, it's
Oh.
like, and that was, we were kind of had this conversation that was published 25 years ago.
Wow.
And that was, pretty, I would say, subversive.
Mhm.
And then kind of we have seen the pendulum swing in the rest of society. The beautiful thing about the arts is that they often can do things. You can create fantasy worlds where you are, expressing things that in the real world maybe couldn't be expressed. And then a lot of times the world does shift and change.
Yeah.
But then now we're kind of in a situation where sometimes the world seems like we are going back the other way.
Mhm.
So it feels like using the arts to continue to um, demonstrate what the world could be like.
Yes.
And how there's really room for everyone is so important, I think, now more than ever.
Yeah.
Not to
I
get too
agree.
political.
No,
So-
no,
wait,
no,
so-
no. I think you're
yeah.
right on the money with that, and thank you so much for mentioning that. And I love hearing stories or about books and that were published so, I'll say so long ago, or it honestly not far off from the 1990s and earlier. I feel like that time of year or that time of the world was. It was very taboo to have anyone in any kind of gay presenting scenario, and to have that as a book that still touches people to this day, I feel like is so important. And I feel like it's books like that and media like that that have paved the way to where we are right now, where, again, not to get too political, the world can be a little bit on fire, but art right now is saying, no, I will not conform. And it's because of people from so long ago who were fucking brave, who put themselves out there, and that we are able to now do that in a way that doesn't get us burned at the stake, hopefully, and also in ways that is seen as brave and normalizing and like as a like fuck yeah kind of feeling. Yeah, I think that in times of darkness, being different and going against the norm or normalizing something that should be normal, but the world is trying to shove it down, is more important than ever, because I can only imagine how many people are out there who are feeling shoved down by the world right now, and they need to be seen. And I think art is a really positive way for a lot of people to feel seen.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm very excited about Oath of the Chosen and the direction that you took, because it would have
Thank you.
been, and I'm sure you got some advice to like take an easier path.
I did, and I'm so glad I said to that advice, shove it up your shitter. I'm really glad I did. So I'm
In your most professional voice.
in my most professional way. I'm very, and luckily no one was like, there won't be a book if you don't change this. Like, luckily everyone who was kind of raising that flag, it was more in like a, hey, I just want you to know that especially when it comes to PR and press releases and stuff like that, like I had someone very frankly tell me, like, you're bisexual, you're writing a bisexual character, get ready to talk about your sexuality in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm like, I've been open for 5 years. I've talked about it on podcasts. I've now written a book about it, to the point where I'm now like, I've what sure it's part of her story, and also at the same time I do hope people are more uh appalled, I'll call it, by the violence and the way that things are taken especially in book 1. And I hope that there's more commentary, not political commentary, but what's the word, more media centric commentary on what that means versus who she's banging behind a closed door consensually and with love. So
But I mean, it's not a closed door for the reader.
oh fuck no, that door is open. That's a double door, if you will. That's 2 double doors.
You were about to disappoint somebody.
Oh God, my romantic at heart title, I feel like they would revoke my medal if I took that away from people.
So was there anything, so speaking about writing spicy scenes, first of all, let's go on the record. You are a writer, we are writing. What you read in a spicy scene does not reflect on the author's personal life.
True.
Just their Google search.
Much like the murders that are taking place and the torture that is taking place is also not a reflection on the author's personal life.
Just my Google search, absolutely. Yes.
Exactly. But was there anything that was surprising to you, especially when it came to writing the romance or the spicy scenes?
So I have been very open that this book is a slow burn. And I say that with the book between the main characters is a slow burn. But Ari's not a saint. Like she's living her life. So actually there was this is funny. So there's a character at the very beginning who we meet, and he ended up being everyone's fucking favorite character. People loved this dude. And to the point where my editor, when she read it, she was like, "Can we please get a scene with this guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, I'll play around." And I ended up writing that scene, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Who am I? Like writing that scene, because like the first scene, I'll say like the more girl on girl scene is, for plot purposes, like Ari really needed to be in her head in that scene. Now that's not to say I didn't shy back on some other details of things, but she's very in her head. Whereas this one, she's like, get me out of my head, get me into my body. And in this scene, it was fun to write, just like a fuck around and find out sort of scene. So you ask what surprised me. I never thought writing a guy girl sex scene would be so fun, because I had a blast writing the girl on girl one. So that was really surprising, especially given the fact that it's a different direction than I originally intended. Like, that didn't get added in until final edits, actually. It was like the very last round of edits where my editor was like, "But what if?" And I was like, I'll appease your curiosity. And then I was like, "We're not taking this out. Like, this is staying. This has to stay in."
But what if I gave you another 4,000 words?
Exactly.
What if I just handed them over to you?
She was
on a
very
platter?
sweet. And because I asked her, like, in our final edits, like, I think I added like 15,000 words in the final edit. And I was like, am I okay? Like, do I have a word count limit? She's like, "No, like, don't go too crazy, but like, no, I'll tell you when to scale back." And luckily she was like, live your truth. Don't do it. And I was like, okay, phew. So I was able to just like play around and add as much as I wanted to, which is again, one of those things where I was like, that is not normal when it comes to the publishing industry. So shouts to Allie. She really let me take the reins and steer the horse in whatever direction I wanted to go, and I'm very, very grateful. But she luckily had some barriers around me. She was like, "Maybe don't go too far in that direction," and it ended up being so much better because of it.
So I need to know, you have mentioned slow burn. I see the books behind you. Like, on a slow burn scale of like hooking up at the 70% mark of the first book to Penn Cole, Spark of the Everflame. How slow is this slow burn?
It is not 2,000 pages, if that helps. Is that very reassuring?
It does help, because that
was what you know.
I have a T-shirt that says "Luther is my hall pass." That was 2,000 pages too long. We could have started
I
on page
loved
1.
it. I wanted to be Edge 2000 more. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
He hates a slow burn. I will tell you right now, the one thing we will never write is a slow burn because he cannot stand it. He's like, kids already.
Yeah, I will say this. I did find a way around it at the 70% mark in this book. However, it is still not a Pencoll 2000 pages, but it's not a 70% mark full, if that makes any sense. I will put it this way. I will not make you wait until book 3, but you bet your bippies I'm making you wait till book 2.
I
Sorry,
thought you
Xavier.
said you weren't a torturer.
I just like to edge the readers a little. Is that torture?
It's not torture if you enjoy it.
Exactly. It's like the slapping and saying thank you. I'm just wanting to slap everyone and they have to thank me back. So I'm not expecting everyone to thank me or I'm not going to slap you, I promise. Hopefully.
Well, that said, I do want to ask, and this is hello, people. There is now going to be a spoiler warning because I'm going to ask a Spark of the Everflame Kindred's Curse Saga question. So if you haven't read that, what are you doing? Get busy. And if
Hit
you
pause.
have,
Go read 2,000
read.
pages.
Go read 2,000 pages. You'll love every second of it.
So if there was one thing that you would pay money to happen in book 4 of the Kindred's Curse, not even a prediction, just something you would like.
Like if I could
to
buy
happen
pen off
in book
what would I
4.
do?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay. Like a part of me wants to go in like my romantic at heart with like a Luther one, but I've lived in that lore so much where I'm like, if fucking Vance does not die in this book, I swear to God, I need that man to die.
I need Vance to die in a very particular way. I need him bitten in half by Sarai.
I need him slowly, painfully peeled apart, please, with a carrot.
I just
peeler.
want you to know, you both going in the same direction totally makes sense to me. And you're both very competitive. I think you probably, I mean, I don't know about you, Nicole, but Xavier does not forget people who wronged him.
Never. They're dead to me.
Can we have a burn Oath of the Chosen crossover and just move Vance over?
Oh my God.
Torture.
Wait, you want to... Okay, wait. Now I want to write a book 2 character named Vance and just torture the shit out of Maybe I'll talk to Penn and be like, Penn, listen, I have a good idea. Let's write some fanfic together.
There's a portal. There's a portal that opens up.
You just push him in a portal.
Althea guy just like opens up the world and throws him in. I can't stand you anymore. Oh my God. Oh, I love that.
I know what your comeuppance will be.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of something else. Okay, here's another thing I will say of Kindred's Curse Saga. I really do want Diem to save herself from Kirill. So I love this. I love Luther. I love that he is like, I will burn for you, my queen. I will do whatever. That's the reason he's one of my #1 book boyfriends. And I really want Diem to save herself and her just like walk up behind him and be like, Luther, and him turn around with his scruffy beard that he now has, which is just sending me into another orbit, and just like turn around and like them clash together. I would die.
Very
but I don't know if I'm
cinematic.
quite thank you. I like see the camera angles, the like music in the background. Oh God.
The swelling music and
Oh yes. The swelling of other things, if you will.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I don't think music can tingle, but I feel like there would be tingling.
There would absolutely be tingling. There's no way. Nothing would be sitting still. Everything's vibrating. So
All right. Well, I just want you both to know that you both going immediately to Vance is definitely in contrast to my one and only thing that I would be willing to pay money for in book 4, which is do not touch Sarai.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say Henry for a second. I was so worried.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh no, sir.
Like,
oh,
I mean, Henry.
I
don't think about Henry. Henry doesn't register, you know?
Henry's
Sarai?
off with his own thing. I'm very concerned for Sarai. there is some literary foreshadowing that a
Yes.
Gryvern will die. I
Yes.
don't know if it's going to be Sarai. I could see it being Tybalt, which kills me because I want Sarai and Tybalt to be reunited and with their love and be happy ever after. But I also could see Ophiuchai's Gryvern getting, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, getting yeeted off the planet, which would honestly not be terrible. I don't condone the death of animals, I promise. But
Except the
maybe
goats
that
that you
one.
sacrificed.
Except the goats I sacrificed, obviously.
Right.
And maybe some things you'll see in Oath of the Chosen. But I do condone that one Gryvern. That one Gryvern can get out of here.
I like have pre-cried over what I think is going to happen to Sarai.
Yeah, so we have a running debate. She wants to be prepared. So she's thinking of everything awful that could happen and then sharing it with me. And I'm like, no, there's going to be an awful thing that happens. I'll just cope with the one thing.
No.
I don't need your
have you thought of
1,000 possibilities.
Terran or Zelaric dying, because that is something that is heavy on my heart constantly, and I'm deeply concerned.
Yeah. I unfortunately feel like they're gonna stand together and
I hope so,
die together.
but I really don't want them to die
yes.
together. That makes me so sad.
I know that is on the list of.
There
I
is
could
a
see
Throne of Glass
Elise
reference
also.
that I want to make, but I can't because he's only on Crown of Midnight.
I can.
But you probably know a Throne of Glass thing.
I can earmuff like a 2-year-old.
No, you can't. No,
I think I'm with you on that one. Mm-hmm.
All of you people listening at home, we're pointing at you.
And I promise I'm working my way through so that we can have discussions.
So good.
Okay, we cannot. I'm just too it's so close. Book 4 is so close that I almost can't think too much about it because I will upset myself, and I do still have to go about my day.
Be a human. Yeah, it's hard.
So now I want to move into we can't possibly.
And book 4 in that reference was Burn.
Yes,
Burn of the Other Plane. Just people. That was all about Kindred's Curse Saga. People if you yes, you should all be reading it with me. By the way, we're doing a book club. But we cannot possibly have you on without going back to the place where I think the podcasting journey started, and we are going to talk Fourth Wing a little bit here. So this is now everyone. Surely if you listen to this podcast, it's because you know Fourth Wing and you are prepared for spoilers, but just in case. We are now entering a spoiler zone. Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, anything even that has happened in interviews. Everything is fair game here. So if you don't want that, just stop listening now and come back for the end. But
go read 2,000 pages and come back.
Go read 2,000 pages.
So anyway, now that we have said all of that, if you're still here, it's your own fault. So
blame it on, just put a mirror to your face and that's who to blame.
That's right. Okay, so these are our very, very hard-hitting questions for you. Okay, because we are top tier journalistic integrity very high here.
Oh yes.
You're at the coffee shop with Violet and Xaden.
Okay.
They're like, hey, just get me whatever. What are you ordering?
Xaden's not fancy, so he would want just a straight black coffee or like an Americano. No, I don't even. He would want an espresso with maybe a cube of sugar, but he would want you to plop it in really secretively and tell no one, because he does like chocolate cake a lot, but that also means that he likes richer taste. So I could see him wanting a really nice espresso blend with just a little bit of sugar. Violet, however, I'd want to do I'd want to do a lavender matcha for her.
Yes, that was exactly what I was gonna say.
Right? I feel like she needs something first of all, lavender lemonade. She loves lavender, but also matcha feels just so up her alley, and I can't explain. No, I can't explain why. Because it's grass. Basically, I love matcha, but it feels like grass, and grass is very akin to the poisons that she uses in book 1. So I could see her doing that, but I also don't think she would let me order it for her. I think she would have to order it on her own just to make sure I didn't do anything to it. So I would order her a matcha, but I would not go get it. I'd let her go up and get it. And then Zayden, I would get him a little espresso.
No.
Is it wrong that I feel like hers would also have like a little iodine powder in it?
Yes, it is
Idoking?
wrong.
From The Princess Bride?
Oh my God,
The-
with the one that he uses to die? Or the,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
laughs
immune
and then-
to. So if anyone else drinks her.
Okay.
That's actually really good. That was a deep cut, and I loved that. That was so we're actually doing, this might be, I'll say it, the hot off the presses, because we'll announce this before this comes out. Lexi and I are deep diving Princess Bride at our Chicago live show, and so I'm so excited because that's like one of our favorite movies of all time. So that was a good one.
I may or may not have included a Princess Bride Easter egg in our book. So I don't know.
I
May or
love
may
that.
not.
Yes.
Neither confirmed nor denied. But I'm gonna toss you what I think what I would do, because I want Zayden to feel like I did him a solid.
Yep.
Nitro cold brew with chocolate cold foam. From afar, it just looks like a nitro cold brew, but he gets a little bit of chocolate, a little sweetness.
Good. That's a good one. Also, nitro cold brew is so good. Like I know some people don't like it because of the texture of it. I love it because like I don't drink beer anymore. I'm allergic to gluten, and it feels like I'm tasting beer without the fuzzy feelings and the tummy problems.
Yes. Yes. I think Zayden would
Someone
like
should
it.
take my microphone away. I swear.
Avoidance of tummy problems is an adult problem, and
It's so real.
you just roll with it.
Yes, it's maturity. It's that self-compassion, you know?
Yes, exactly. I love my tummy.
Okay, so we're recording this in early June, and so we're about to start Romantasy Daddy Week on our Instagram. That'll be over by the time this comes out. But we love to think about this question. I love to think about this question. Do you think Melgren has kids?
I don't. I don't think he's had kids, simply because the things that we know about him, he is so career everything. And I'm not saying people who are career driven can't also have kids, but I feel like he does kind of look down on Lilith a little. And I've wondered if a little bit of that is because she did have a family and like she loved Asher so much. And I could see him thinking that she is where she is, which is a step below him, because she was soft and weak in that way. Again, major air quotes around that. So I'm leaning no. And I also feel like if he had with Coda, with Coda, Coda's terrifying. Like she does not give off I'm an auntie to any littles. Like if he had any kids, I don't know if they're alive because I'm pretty sure Coda would have nommed, which is a very dark thing to say, Nicole. Oh my God.
Do you think Coda has kids? I feel like this is the type of secret the Empyrean would guard with their lives.
It would guard it. However, we do know that only two new black dragons just hatched, but that was in Erasia. And that was like a big deal in the Black Dragon Den. So I could actually see Coda. I don't think Coda had any kids because I'm assuming that color passes down in the dragon line. But also, I haven't confirmed. I should ask Rebecca that.
The number of questions I have about how
Dragon
get their color, like if Taryn and Sigale had a baby, what color would it be? It's bad.
Great.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never asked Rebecca that. I feel like such a bad deep diver. Oh my God. Well, so we did ask her like if there's a reason why all of the wyverns now their dragon flame is mirroring the colors of the Empyrean, and she skirted that question. So I'm so proud of her. It was so
It was
well
in
done.
Disney. We were there.
Oh my God! That's
yeah.
duh. Oh my God! You guys were there. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my sleuthing of Empyrean. But honestly, I would love to just ask her what would happen if Taryn and Sigale had a baby. Like, what color would the dragon be?
Yes. Also,
like dark
are
blue?
griffins born or hatched?
I think they're hatched.
So my main point of asking this is: do griffins have eggshells?
And what would happen with those eggshells? Like, are
And
they
could
also
they be
used for
part of a
aluminium?
wardstone?
Or a dagger. Or an alloy.
An alloy. You see where we're going with this.
I do. Don't mind me. I'm writing these off to the side to literally ask Lexi after this. I swear. I want to make sure I'm getting this.
I mean, I just need someone to ask more questions about griffins. Like, we're obsessed with griffins.
To be fair, we had about 5 more questions on our list when we were at Disney. And Rebecca, because we saw her that morning just to like, chat through the list and stuff like that. And she corners us. And like, we're very playful with each other. So this was all in good jest. She like corners us and she's like, girls, I can't answer half of your questions. So ask me different questions. And luckily she was able to keep a lot of them, but there were a few, and I can't remember if one of them was actually around griffins that we had to nix, but I think we nixed it because we chose to lean into other ones instead. But now I'm like, shit, did we ask the wrong questions? Did we get rid of the griffin one when we shouldn't have?
Yeah.
I just
could be laying away.
Answering questions like is inspiring.
God. Like her eye.
Oh, she's fun. Her interview
she
is so fun to interview. Oh my, Penn Cole is another one who like, she will just play with you. She will mess you up and spit you out and you will love it. Like I love interviewing authors like that where they just have a jam. It's so fun. Gosh, what a good time.
She's so good in interviews. Okay, but I'm just putting this out into the world. Someone ask about the freaking griffins. I need to know everything, but in particular, I do need to know if they have eggshells. This is vital information.
I'm literally asking Lexi right now. She just got out of a meeting and I'm asking her this. Oh my God. She's gonna be like, Nicole, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm excited. That's gonna be fun.
Okay. While we await this response, do you think the scribe quadrant has the equivalent of the Dewey Decimal System? And if so, is it called the Daxton Decimal System?
It is now. I refuse to, that is headcanon. That's it. Yep. Period. End of sentence. That's gotta be right. The Daxton, the Daxton system, or at least like the Daxton system or something like that.
I feel like the whatever their system is, definitely like in the Dewey Decimal System, it would start at 200.1.
Yes.
And everything below that is something that is from the history that they erased.
Yes.
And no one just questions. It just starts at 200 because starting at 100 would be difficult and boring because
or they did start at 1 to pretend as if they hadn't erased all of that darn Teuton history that they have tucked away deep. But then what would like the Royal Archive, like did the Royal Archives, when they did like the archives heist, would that have a decimal system or was that one exempt from the decimal system? No, it wouldn't have been because Jacinia
it's a
found
personal collection.
True, but Jacinia found it.
Yeah. So it has to be recorded somewhere.
It would have had to been recorded.
Yeah. Anyway, this is how we spend our time at the dinner table.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, invite me. That sounds like a jam. I love that. I miss this world. I'm so excited to go back to it in September.
Me too. I'm so excited. If you lived in Navarre, so you took you wrote a fantasy world with Oath of the Chosen.
Uh-huh.
So if you lived in Navarre where there was magic and griffins and dragons and venom, what would you write a book about? Because I 100% would write Taryn and Sigale's love story, like a star-crossed lovers type thing, because or like a dragon and a griffin fall in love, like Romeo and Juliet. No, dragon and griffin.
That's good. See, here I am thinking like a sea voyage. Like maybe this is Lexi and her kraken crack theory really, really touching my heart.
For sure we're going to get like a kraken or a kelpie.
I can't. Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh god. After Akatar, I'm like, oh god, never again, please. I could absolutely see a sea. I think Lexi would write the sea voyage actually. So I'm gonna let her have her sea voyage with her kraken and her probably her pirate who has a dragon or has some kind of like flying apparatus with her. But it would be a small one. Now I'm just writing her story. She can do that. I'm like, go back to mine. I'm a big like I love travel stories. It's like I remember like with Lord of the Rings, there's like Bilbo and Frodo and all of them. They're just walking for like 90% of the books. For whatever reason, I love that shit. I find it so interesting, and so I could see someone who's like a expeditioner who wants to travel to every single place in Navarre, but as she does it, she comes across different types of dragons, and she sees like a wyvern in the sky, and it's kind of like an Easter egg back into the Empyrean series where it crosses over where she thinks it's a dragon, but it's not. And then like she'll have like a run-in with Venom and not believe her eyes, thinks it's a dream. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I would do that, and then like have her have to climb like the cliffs of Draelor, and like stay in different places. Like she'd have to stay with the royals and Halden and all of that stuff. Maybe her and Halden would have like a one-night stand, and it would be terrible because he sucks. I kind of like that. Yeah, that's it. That's where I'd go. And then she'd go to the Dragon Riders quadrant, fuck, and just like utterly lose her shit, and then she'd have the best sex of her life, and then she'd go to like Moraine or something like that and do something in a bog or whatever. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, get some sort
Nice
of ruby. I feel like there'd be a ruby involved.
Yeah, like she has to like Indiana Jones style where she has to. Now I'm just taking Rebecca Yarros' moment from Disney World and putting it in Empyrean. She has to like find an artifact or whatever. That would be fun.
That's
okay, so we have this theory that Berwyn is bonded to a dragon.
Okay.
Because that's how his magic works behind the words.
Mm-hmm.
And that dragon is one of Andarna's parents.
Whoa!
So, what do you think happened to Andarna's parents? Because I don't know. I don't think people just leave their egg behind. They didn't leave their egg behind when the Empyrean split and went to Orisha.
Because it would have been 600 years ago, or 600 plus years ago.
Yeah, 650, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and if I remember correctly, there's that one line in book 1 where she mentions how it's hard to love something that oh my god, it's hard to love she's talking to Violet, it's just the two of them. Something around like it's hard to love something the second time. Maybe I'm actually thinking of Iron Flame, but basically like it's hard to feel love when you've already been lost to it. And I'm majorly paraphrasing. So Lexi and I always thought that was in reference to her family, but then we in Onyx Storm were like, oh, what if that's in reference to like everyone of the Irids? So I always assumed that her parents were part of the Irids that died in the war way, 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 way back when. And then I just kind of closed that door, that loop door, and put it aside. I had not even thought of Irids going into the Barrens. Okay, hold on. I need to work through this in real time. So we have Berwyn, but then there's also General Daramore, who Lexi and I have assumed he was the 7th of the first 6, and he was bonded to an Irid. So he could have trained Berwyn in bonding a Irid, and well, no, because he would have also been 650 years old. But we don't know how young or old Berwyn is. So I feel like until I know Berwyn's rough age, I won't be able to say what kind of dragon he is bonded to, and if it was Andarna's parents.
Yeah, but
until I know.
And then we had this discussion about is Berwyn old enough to be it, but I really am gravitating towards that Andarna was left behind as the criterion because her parents were Irids that fought, and they they left her behind because she was from this group of Irids that defected from the pacifist spirituality piece, which could have been General Daramore's dragon or another dragon that just was, a fighter. But
I feel like Keep going. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, but so definitely, like, I'm like, we kind of went very unhinged. Then I actually convinced myself that this isn't that unhinged.
It's no, it's if
Because
I've
why
learned
would they leave her
anything,
behind?
if I've learned anything, crack theory's got legs somewhere. Like I feel like there's never a moment in which a crack theory is too far out there in which it's like that's impossible, unless we start blending lores into a different world. But I do feel like okay, I'm gonna actually take y'all's theory and I'm gonna twist it ever so slightly to the left, because I do think that if Andarna's parents were Irids and went over to the Venom side, I do think that they would be with General Daramore versus Berwyn, because something's got to make this dude the ominous villain in the background. Like, we're in book 4 and we haven't even met him yet. And I feel like something's got to make him more powerful. Something's got to make him connected more to our crew. And I absolutely could see that being one of the reasons, and Xaden figuring that out when he's there.
Yeah, we think
book.
we do think Berwyn's got a boss.
Oh, Berwyn
definitely
for sure has a boss. Whoever,
Berwyn,
and it was Theophany's boss.
Yeah,
whoever whoever
talking
she was
about
trying to impress was not Berwyn.
And I'm thinking it's General Daramore. I can't let that go. Like, it is so ingrained in my mind.
Yes,
and it's so interesting because I was just rereading the scene with the Irids in the Isles because I was researching this theory. They don't actually say that they don't bond humans.
Well, and
no,
we also
they don't.
Well, also before this goes live, we'll have posted that there's no proof that General Daramore's a human.
Because you know who else is a general? Terran.
Fuck me. Oh my God. I'm gonna need 15 minutes alone with my word search before I come up with any coherent agreement or yay or nay. I'm gonna need some time alone with my word search before I do that. Oh my God!
Totally understand.
I respect that decision.
Like, yes, as someone who's just recently looked at every occurrence of the word bond over 3 books.
It's exhausting.
I love that.
Welcome to my life.
In Kindle.
Oh my God. It was a light during our ACOTAR coverage, because we did at the very end, we did Mass vs. Madness, right? And at every single week I'd have 18 books open on my laptop, and I'd just be flipping through each of them, searching for Cloak or searching for Cauldron and just like all of these different things. And I did not miss that, and now I'm realizing in real time that I'm going back to that in September, so I hope my computer's got a lot of memory on it. Oh man.
Well, okay, so we're going to have to, I know we need to wrap up here. So tell us, what is next for you? I know you already mentioned you have the tour coming up this fall, but what's coming up for you for Fantasy Fangirls, and what's on the docket with Oath of the Chosen?
Oh, well, Oath of the Chosen, because it doesn't come out till next May, we have a really fun, long leadway, which means we've got a lot of secrets up our sleeves, which it is killing me not to just like blah, 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 share them all. But there's going to be a lot of goodies dropping in the next, 10 months, 10, 11 months, including a cover. I just signed off on it yesterday. It's sick. It's so good. And then also Oath of the Chosen, release is going to happen. And there's a lot of things we have planned for the release. So I guess the big thing is stay tuned with that. For FFG, I'm able to be much more open-doored about that. But we have our tour in September. We are going to Chicago. We're going to New York and Charlotte. We are also going to be diving into our coverage of Burn of the Everflame. So we're actually doing it a little differently than we normally do, because it's our first ever final book in a series. We're going to be doing it book club style. So Lexi and I will not know how the book ends as we go through the deep dive. And Penn, we've been chatting with her in the background, and she's gonna torture us. God, I'm so excited, because she's gonna be playing along a little in the background too. And then after that, we've got our Fourth Wing, not book 4, whatever this Empyrean not book 4 is, which is killing me not knowing. And then we've got ACOTAR for the foreseeable future after that, leading basically up right to Oath of the Chosen. So we are we're as a team, we're all kind of holding each other and we're like, okay, here we go. Because simultaneously, I'm also writing book 2. Lexi's writing her book right now. Hayden just finished his first draft of his book. So and we have a whole network of shows underneath us. I swear I sleep. I swear I do. So it's a lot, but I'm very, very excited.
That is so fun. I'm so excited. I am really trying to figure out if I'm from the Chicago area, and I'm really trying to figure out if we can have a little trip to visit my parents.
Oh, there you go. Wait, we're in Chicago.
Oh, the suburbs.
Okay, yeah.
Not like I grew up kind of near the Schaumburg area.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
But,
I used to live off of, I was in basically in Wrigleyville for 5 years. So, I loved Chicago. Yes.
My sister still lives, near enough that, she can hear the lions at the Brookfield Zoo roaring
Yes.
at
Oh my
night.
God.
So
That's awesome.
very fun. But, so what is the best way for folks to stay connected with you, on all of these adventures, your real life adventures?
My real life, as opposed to my Hannah Montana life. I am most popular on Instagram, both for Fantasy Fangirls. We are at Fantasy Fangirls Pod, and also for Nicole Holleman, it'll be Nicole. Author. It'll be author Nicole Holleman on Instagram and / or TikTok. I'm much more fun on Instagram. To be quite honest, TikTok scares the crap out of me. So I'm way more on those two.
Same.
But then obviously with Fantasy Fangirls, we have new episodes every single Monday. And stay tuned for more Oath of the Chosen, especially as I start releasing art, which I'm so excited. I can't wait for that to come out.
So excited. So excited. Art's just takes it to that next. It makes it feel so real.
It really does. Oh my gosh. And pre-orders are also open. We opened those just recently. And I didn't know this before becoming an author, but pre-orders are massively helpful. Oh my gosh. Because it's just, I could list a million reasons, but the biggest ones are it just is really a boost up for any author before release day when it comes to demand from bookstores to what publishers pour into it. It's really, really helpful. So if you are in a position to pre-order Oath of the Chosen or any other book, that there's a million of them coming out this year and next year and many, many years to come, please do so. Because I know I've started changing mine.
We'll have pre-order links in the show notes. So click away.
And thank you again, and congratulations. And before we sign off, we wanted to bring attention to a couple organizations that are important to you, especially now during Pride Month. So can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I can. So I'm going to list off several because I can't just do one. I'm an overachiever after all. The Trevor Project is very well known, but it is deep important to my heart. It is an LGBTQ plus suicide prevention organization that is life-saving is not even the right word. My husband actually worked at a crisis text line for a long time, and so many of those people who wrote in were in some way, shape, or form on the LGBTQ plus on that side. What's the word?
Umbrella.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes. All those people, and a lot of those people were in the camp of LGBTQ plus. So that is a very near and dear to my heart. They've saved so many lives. The Human Rights Campaign is also another huge one. They're all about LGBTQ plus equality. And this one I've actually recently discovered. So there's a not new, it's been out for a very long time, but new to me, where if you're either LGBTQ plus or also an ally or new to the community just in general, there's one called PFLAG. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. It's like PFLAG. I'll just do PFLAG.
I think it's PFLAG.
PFLAG.
I think
I
so.
have no idea.
I don't know.
I tried to find it and I could not find the correct pronunciation, but PFLAG, they're a huge organization that has a bunch of local chapters in different areas across the U.S. That are all devoted to helping LGBTQ plus people and the people also who love them feel supported. So if you're ever feeling alone, this feels like a really great option or you just want to understand this community better, because I know there are a lot of allies who maybe aren't on the who maybe aren't in the umbrella of LGBTQ+, but they want to know more about it, this is a great option to find a community near you.
We will link all of those in show notes. And thank you so much for bringing those up. And thank you again. I'm so excited for your book. Congratulations on all of these milestones. I hope you are able to just enjoy all of them as they come. And
Thank
and
you.
good luck as you're writing the second book. It's
Yes,
going to
and
be
be-
very
and-
exciting.
and be nice to yourself. You're doing awesome.
I'm trying. That's what therapy is for. But thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me on. This was a blast getting to talk to you both again. Thank you.
And that is going to be it from us. So, guys, leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought. What are you most excited about with Oath of the Chosen? And what do you think about our fourth wing theories that we touched on? And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.